question. It's usually about an hour, but I don't time it, it's just as long as is needed. Spirit will introduce themselves, so I will go off into a complete trance state. Spirit will introduce themselves and then invite the first question and keep going round. And then they will ask when it's for the next question. So enjoy. Thank you so much. Okay, bless you. Blessings and love, we are here. We come to you from the Great Spirit, from the divine essence that is within each and every one of you, and also each and every little atom of experience. For every experience is a being in the making. For you are beings of experience. The more you experience, the more you achieve, and the more you realize. And it's all about love and unification, dear ones. But not that love that is composed just on your material plane. It is important to remember your divine essence and the Great Spirit that is composed within all beings. For when you merge and connect to the Great Spirit that we are, miracles are achieved, dear ones. There are many guides and essences and flavors that are coming through us, and yet today we would like for you to remember the Great Spirit within all life and consciousness. We invite the first question, dear ones.
What is their message for me individually?
The message is not about just being individual, dear one. The message we would like for you to remember is the unification, the connection with everything. For all that which you experience is what creates your personal identity, dear one. For without experience, you are nothing. You are the unborn, waiting to be born and waiting to die. Therefore, the message we would like for you to encounter and to experience is to realize the interconnectedness of all that which you have achieved and all of that which you are achieving in the present and the future. For when you acknowledge and you understand this, emotions are just like waves that come and go, and indeed through higher vibrations or lower vibrations are consumed by them. We wish to repeat this as this is very personal to you, dear one, in your personal understanding. Higher vibrations consume and engulf all lower vibrations. It is not about seeking, it is more about attuning yourself to higher vibrational frequency, aligning yourself with the higher vibrations. Therefore, what you manifest, what you create and bring forth in your life is not about seeking out there. It is about aligning with all that which you are. The divine essence within, dear one. Your future is one of achieving more and more, yet we would like to remind you, do not forget the interconnectedness and the higher vibrations, for often you go by the fears of being exposed to the lower vibrations. But we wish to remind you that is part of the illusion. When you only allow the higher vibrations, they will engulf and consume any fears and insecurities. Therefore, attune to the higher vibrations. The lower will melt away, and indeed death will come one day, and indeed many beings on your life, on your earth, spend their whole lives preparing for death, for what is born must die, and yet what is eternally manifesting has some light in it, dear one. We would like you to start to unwrap the gifts that we have gifted you, instead of just using them unappropriately. For when you start to unwrap the gifts, you look within and you find the treasure is not what you originally thought it was. We invite the next question, dear one.
Okay, mine is very personal. I don't know how to ask. I feel like there's a soul out there and trying to come to this life throughout me. I mean that there's a baby that wants to be born, and sometimes I'm talking with that baby. But in next 6 months, I have lost that connection with that soul. I want to learn, is it my mind's illusion that's making this this obstacle for me to go on in my life? Should I forget about this soul? Is it real, or will I have that baby? This is.
Dear one, we greet you. We would like for you to understand the matrix, the womb of the universe. We would like for you to understand that the universe responds to action. The last 6 months you have been doing a lot of action outside of the box, whereas before you were doing a lot more action within the box. We would like for you to remember the box is kind of like the body, and also you are a divine expression of the microcosm and the macrocosm and the omniverse. Therefore, we would like for you to fully understand that if you are the microcosm, the macrocosm, and the omniverse, there is nothing you cannot bring into your reality. The illusions are just like the passing tides and the passing weather, which comes and goes, and yet, indeed, we remind you to look to the stars, and indeed the Venus. Venus is very important to you, and indeed the moon connecting the Venus is the birth of the love. We see there is a baby boy on the horizon, and indeed in the future a baby girl. But we would like for you to remember the universe responds to action and to vocalized expression. Indeed, the birth is to be in the March or the February months, but we are specifically seeing March time. Therefore, make the calculations, dear one, and fear not, for there is much that is written in the stars. Some which you can further create, some which is written in the stars, must manifest on your earth, just like castles and palaces and grand things and temples. And your body and your consciousness is a temple of the divine Great Spirit. When you understand this Great Spirit, you just experience a little jewel in the creation. We see that your future is one of sprouting, dear one of coming forth into the golden light. Indeed, when you have babies into your reality, you shall start to heal some of the ancestral things which need to be healed, and you shall come more into the loving essence which you are, dear one. You are loved, and do not try to analyze too much, as you are blessed, dear one. We invite the next question, dear one.
My question
question will be seen very material, but I'm really wondering. My money has been stolen 4 years before. Shall I wait for it, or should I forget it?
Dear one, as we come to you with much comfort and we see your tears and the injustice, we would like to remind you that the reason why karma exists on your planet, and indeed in all the planets, for there is a saying, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, an ear for an ear, a finger for a finger. What one takes from another, one will get exposed to them tenfold. Therefore, we would wish for you to understand, dear one, that in relation to the law of karma, there is nothing in the universes, in the omniverse, which is not seen, heard, documented, and recorded. Therefore, when an seemingly injustice has occurred, even small things, small lower vibrational things, in the law of karma and cause and effect and how things are facilitated, the karmic ripple is tenfold. This is also in relation to thoughts, to bad things people do or cause another to experience. Indeed, to big things like burglaries, things that are stolen, murders, wars, of course. But also it even happens to the smaller things of wishing something bad for someone, or not coming from a place of pure love. Therefore, we are not saying forget it, but we are saying that understand that you are always protected and loved and safe. For really, of course, you would like the money, the physical things back. But really, in essence, it is important you remember you are safe, as this is much more of a greater thing than just the money. For money comes and goes, dear one, and when you die, you cannot take money with you. Indeed, money is just money. I wish for you really to understand the divine spirit does not exist in money, dear ones. It never has, and it never will. For money is but an illusion, and yet the essence into abundance is far greater. For on the message of abundance, beings understand they are loved, they are safe, and they are protected. On the law of karma, you must understand you cannot enforce any of your egoistic wishes on another or your fears. For if you can communicate in love and kindness, you can propose suggestions to others and to the universe. But you must remember the karma and free will. If you impose any emotion or anything on another, you are really taking away their free will, and you are messing up with your karma. Therefore, the only way to heal is to grow and to heal in your self-responsibility, and to be gentle with your words, gentle with your thoughts, and loving with your actions. For all beings are fragile on earth, and if every being could understand they are loved, and they are safe, and they always will be, then there would be no wars. Karma, ego, and free will go hand in hand, dear one. We would recommend you do not ask for the money to be returned to you. We just ask that you understand justice will be done, and you are far greater than experiencing anything which is not higher. than what you are currently experiencing. Therefore, why limit your reality, and why bring with you a heavy load when there is no need to? For you are loved beyond means, and you always will be love. If you are love and you are light, then the past will melt away like an ice cube melting in the sun. Golden is your future, golden is your name, dear one. Fear not. We invite the next question.
At this point in my life, the only thing I desire is to be in close contact with my higher beings, my spirit guides. But for some reason, and I try to meditate as much as I can, but it feels like I don't seem to get there, and I feel that I have an obstacle which I cannot tell right now, but I'm wondering, and I cannot get past that obstacle, so I'm wondering what to do to be able to get past the obstacle.
You are glowing, dear one, and understand there is no growth that occurs that is not acknowledged by the divine Great Spirit. And also for yourself personally, there is nothing which is not seen, which is not heard, which is not felt in the universes, in the omniverse. Your progress has not gone unseen and undocumented, and yet really what is happening is you have forgotten to document your progress, and therefore have thought that nothing has been happening. Oh, how you have forgotten. For if you are cooking a meal and you have started the onions frying, you put the ingredients in, the flavors, the base, just because it's not ready yet, you cannot say there is no food. For there is food. It is just becoming prime-timed. Therefore, just like the fruit growing on the tree, or the nuts, they are growing in accordance to the divine laws. For there is nothing that can be over-forced that will be nourishing. If a child is to be born before its time, most likely it would be born handicapped or the possibility of passing away. Therefore, we wish to remind you how much you have been developing. By trying to do something, you are achieving. But what you must understand is you have not perfected it yet. But that is good. For you are still growing, and when you perfect it, you will understand it a lot more. We would like for you to work more with the colors and enjoy. You could draw, you could paint, you could work with some colors on clothes, of everything. Appreciate the colors. And you can turn to crystals or computers or telephones, for they all do the same. They document. When you document, you record your experiences. Crystals are computers, computers are computers. These days, your things you call phones are computers also. Yet a computer and a telephone works with digital electronic recording. Crystals work with the spiritual recording. And the colors work with the vibrational recording. Therefore, we would like for you to know that you can connect to your spirit guides. There will be a future where you may be able to encounter and have a session developing your ability with spirit. But we would like for you to remember that you are always seen in the light, and you are a wise one, dear one. You have a lot of gifts to bring to the reality, but you are one of humility and one which does not have an ego. Therefore, we wish to remind you that not having an ego is good, and yet do not forget the work you are doing and have done, dear one. We congratulate you with your successes, for your future is one of brightness, dear one. You are loved. We invite the next question, dear ones.
My core values are justice, wisdom, and love. However, I am having difficulties managing difficult senior people. So my question is how to remove the obstacles for miscommunication, misinterpretation, and misalignment.
We appreciate and we acknowledge your pure energy, dear one. We acknowledge you bringing forth the message of healing and balance and integrity to the world. There are many doctors, there are many financial advisors in the world which go to control and not seeing things as they should be. And yet you come from a place of ethical considerations, because your origin is one of spiritual nature, and this you are aware of, dear one. The other beings which you have to converse with are coming more from a lower vibration, and the material insecurities of potential failure or things with economy and control. Therefore, we wish to remind you to always find your center, and to remind one of the first messages we gave at the beginning. All higher vibrations consume lower vibrations. Therefore, when you do not back down, but you are not overly confident, for when one is overly confident, the lower beings become like an insect to a light bulb, and they become jealous or envious, for you are in your light, in your power, and you are undisturbed by the lower vibrations. The same happens when you are in a high vibration and then you allow the lower vibrations to cause you a hard time, as you are to put it. The important thing is to remember the free will, the karma, and that you are always in control, and do not try to comment or to judge another's free will or actions. For when you put the ball in their court, you acknowledge that beings have free will, and through a compassion, you are keeping yourself protected, and you are not causing friction to those around you. Otherwise, it's a bit like table tennis. Back and forth, back and forth. Acknowledge that thy will be done, and acknowledge that those beings cannot bring you down or your values down. For if you say that your values are justice, are truth, are integrity, of love, of goodness, never let that change, dear one. Why on earth would you? For if you do, then you are just giving away your power. It does not mean create a war, but you just state what is acceptable and what is not. And by doing so, you can do in a loving way of treating others how you wish to be treated yourself. For why give a present away if you cannot receive yourself? And vice versa. And why accept something you would not do to yourself? It's all about respect and the balance, dear one. But be clear in all that you are and know that we acknowledge you and we love your energy and your light and your intentions, for they are not just intentions. We are aware of your past lives. And we are aware that you have nearly attained mastery in many lives. And we will meet again, dear one. We invite the next question.
My question is about love partner relationship. I got divorced in 2000, and since then I don't have any love partner. I wonder why, and I want to know if I will have a partner, when and how.
Dear one, as we bring forth the ray, the pink ray of healing and Lady Nada, Lady Vesta and the blue ray of Mother Mary, we would like for you to acknowledge and to be aware of the words you speak. For you did not get divorced in our eyes. You let go of that which no longer served you. Therefore, as we readdress your question, we are stating to the Divine Spirit, to the Great Spirit, that indeed you have let go of what no longer served you in the year 2000, and therefore now you would like to invite and manifest and to claim into your life love, relationship, unification and partnership. By claiming, you allow yourself not just to receive, but you state what you are ready to achieve. For if you do not state or claim, then you cannot receive. That is the answer. And we would like to see you more nourished, but you can only become nourished when you have the sun, dear one. For movement is needed, and you have been in the place too long. You need to move location, dear one, and the love will come to you. At first they may not be your twin flame, but they will be one that will nourish you. But then there will be another relationship which will be the one. We invite the next question, dear ones.
Kendi potansiyelini daha fazla ortaya koymak, yaşam yolunda ilerlemek için mevcut işin dışında eklemem gereken araçlar, bununla ilgili alacağım mesaj. What do I need for my job to my path to add my life as a job, or do I have any tools that
To
I shall-
overcome her potential.
Yes.
We would like for the channeler to have the pen and paper now, please. We would like to remind you that home is where the heart is. We would like to remind you the message of the music. the message of the stars. For you enjoy that, but why do you not interconnect things? You connect the dots. You are wise, dear one, but you forget to connect the dots. We would like to remind you, the family, of the birthing, for when there is children, there is innocence. The faces, dear one. The faces are always pure and smiling when the home is where the heart is. And just like the road going upwards, you must remember not to run away. You've run away too many times. It's time for you to be strong and to expand upon all that which you have felt and created and known for so long. When the home is the heart, there is so much joy and always something to celebrate with. Celebrate. For when you celebrate, you float with a balloon. Celebrate. Celebrate. For why do you feel life has to be hard? When you celebrate, you allow the balloon to rise you up. Your power animal is a bear. You have this courage. You have this strength. But your power animal is also a bee. At times, the bear tries to steal the bees because it wants the honey. And yet, they only need to ask. This is like the closest relationships you have encountered. Instead of complaining, it is important to remind the children they do not need to steal the cookies, the sweetness, for there is sweetness in every experience. And they will always be gifted sweetness. As the bigger the groups, the people, there is always something and someone to celebrate. Therefore, you cannot be alone, and no being can ever be alone. For it is the feeling of alone that causes pain and bad things. But when people remember, just like the Great Spirit, there is a Great Spirit within all things. That is the beauty. You are wise beyond means, dear one. This can be your last lifetime. Until we meet again, we invite the next question.
Oğlumun öfke ve nefreti bırakıp koşulsuz sevgiyi hissedip uygulaması için neler mümkün?
What's possible for my son to experience, to leave his anger and hateness and to experience the unconditional love?
Rather like a football match. He doesn't need to cross his life out. Rather, he needs to find himself in the grand scheme of things. He can be the best goalkeeper there is. He just needs to connect with his center solar plexus, which is his sunshine in the great scheme of things. His sun is the key. For he's forgotten that he always has this sunshine within him. The sun shall bring much joy. The sun is the golden key. But when he remembers this, through your teaching, he shall grow. He only acts like he does, for he is hurting. He doesn't know his place in the earth. He's forgotten his sun. And he needs to be the goalkeeper. For when he is the goalkeeper, he can save the day. For really, his path is about saving the children. He hasn't realized this yet. There is a need for him to play football and to climb the trees. He needs to let go of his toys. For they are outdated. They have too much of the past. He also needs a pet to take care of. And you can guide him as he takes care of this pet. He will take care of his inner child. For right now, he feels he is a wolf. But he's not. He's just a gentle little sun. Sunshine. Things are together. He will be a teacher. But first he must learn. For at the moment he is only living what he has learned. Therefore he needs to relearn. And he will be a very good goalkeeper of the truths of the world. He just needs to remember who he is and find his purpose in the world. also we are seeing the need for pocket money, so he remembers these things.
Görüyoruz. Bu şeyleri hatırlasın.
Things are togetherness for you, do not worry. No one's going anywhere, it's just about home where the heart is. Less about running away, more about expansion. For the divine spirit, the great spirit within all beings, one cannot run away from the stars, but they can try to realign a more optimal expansion by being in the right place at the right time. That is why you were all brought together. Love is the key. Unconditional love can only be found in your Son of the universe. For Son is what brings the light and the warmth which no being can escape. The unconquerable, unescapable love. We invite the next question.
What are my spirit animals and what are my gifts for this lifetime?
Your spirit animals are a butterfly. Your gifts are about finding creative harmony and balance in an unbalanced world. For in the unbalance, you can find the rebalance. You can find your perspective. For in the divine perspective, there is nothing that cannot be resolved or brought back into harmony. Well, we would like to remind you, each and every one of you, that there is nothing which is eternally unbalanced. For we do not see anything that is broken or needs to be fixed. We see it's more about balance. Balanced nutrition, balanced harmony, balanced spirituality, balanced harmony of communication, balanced expression of your creative oneness. Therefore, as the message of the butterfly gives the message of transformation and metamorphosis, we would like to remind you, dear one, that your mission is about constantly expanding and metamorphosizing into the true power which you always are, and yet often you forget. But why forget when you are living? For really, the love is always eternally living. You just forget this at times. Bring more love in all that you do, and you will evolve and grow to great heights, dear one. The other power animal you have is a dolphin. For you need the ocean and to swim in the sea of consciousness. For you often limit yourself of your growth. But why wait? We invite the next question.
Okay, I have a very bad backache and neck ache that prevents my daily activities. What should I do about them?
Please give the channel a pen and paper. We would like for you to have healing. But we see there are energy centers which are off balance, dear one, and you have had attack on these centers. We would like for you to look upwards and not to hold on to the densities of your ancestral karma. For the ancestral karma brings you down, dear one. Let go of your mother's responsibilities and projections to you. Teardrops. You need to cry. You need to let go of that which no longer serves you. And also, you have picked up too much unsupport from the world. It is time that you ask for support, dear one. For you support others, and you forget you need the support also. We see that, like the bird, you need to be a bird. You need to fly. For fly upwards, dear one. The birds are messages of your healing. We also see you need to lubricate your diet with nuts. For nuts have a communication that goes up your spinal column into your brain. And when you allow the support combined with the nutrition, you shall indeed heal. But you must be aware of those 3 to 4 broken energy centers in your chakras. We would like for you to remember the message of the pyramid and the triangles, and how when you connect them, they can transform, dear one. You can go on a journey, dear one. We would like to we would like to see you completely healed, dear one. You also need to protect yourself with some shielding. There are many methods to shield and to protect yourself. But firstly, you must know you are supported, and send some healing energy to the centers that have been exposed and that are broken in your etheric aura, dear one. And also from the past, know that you will not be left alone, and to know that you will have family support and indeed friends supporting you. And you can ask for some support, for sometimes you feel alone, dear one. There is no need to feel alone, and there's no need to just enter within the books, for you often lose yourself within the books and forget about you. Remember who you are, dear one. Be strong like a tree, and we know it sounds rather hippie, but you need to hug a tree, for the trees give you a boost. The trees really can bring you up. They really can support you, for they have a power. And the trees, although they have their roots deep in the ground, they also go straight up to the light. A vegetarian diet is advised for you, dear one. And then maybe going to a more specific way of refinement which suits you most perfectly, dear. But you will heal. We are certain of this, dear. And you must accept the support and also ask for it. For if you do not ask, you cannot receive. Ask and it is given, dear one. We love you. We invite the next question.
I have pain on my foot last
5 months and inflammation also. What can I do to get my health back again?
You need to cry, and you need to accept the love of the roses, the love of the feminine power again. For you have lost your faith in your feminine power of the unconditional love. You have been hurt. But your future is one of being in your feminine power and understanding it is perfectly safe to be thriving in your feminine power, to express your feminine power and to allow the love. For you were always unconditionally loving and you got hurt. And now is the time to invite the pink roses, the yellow roses, the white roses of peace, and to allow this love and this feminine energy to come to you. For the left foot symbolizes the feminine energy and moving forward. It has swollen, for you are doubting your ability to move forward. To move forward in your feminine power, in the peace and the love of all that you are. You must not doubt. You must be courageous and know that you can achieve great things with the power of love. For yes, you may have had more unconditional love and trust in the past. And yet, you allowed that to be diminished. You were like a giant moon in the sky, but because of your circumstances in life, you allowed yourself to become a tiny star hiding behind a cloud. Now is your time to take back your power, your feminine power, and to move forward and not let anything diminish your light. For you are far greater than you deem yourself to be, and you are far stronger than you could believe yourself to be. And you go too much on the past and the fear of the future. But when you realize the treasure, the gold, is you. Therefore, there is no past, there is no future. You are the golden one. You are the great spirit emanating your experiences. You are always the captain of your plane. Therefore, your suffering can never be like it was again. For you have grown, you have achieved greater things since then. You are far more powerful than you may seek. There is a need to reduce the heavy foods in your nutrition for the next 40 days. For it is time of your experience of detoxing and then rebuilding. For once you have had oil put on a fire, the fire blazes and blazes, but then you bring it back to basic, and we would like your flame to be a clean flame, not one that can be diminished. Therefore you must find that light within you, and there is no need to be something else. There is no need for the protection anymore, for you are the strong beacon of light that can never be distinguished. There is a need to reduce the caffeine in your diet, dear one, and to reduce the purple and red foods. You need more of the heart chakra and the white foods. Green and white. And also this is the color. We are seeing the healing green and violet. And indeed, we are reminding you, your future is really here. Not to overwhelm you, just to understand that you are in control, dear one. You are loved, and you are on your path. There are also new things you need to learn and to research and to study, for you are growing, dear one. Just like the blossom on the trees. Your future is one of blossoming, for it's already here. We invite the next question.
My dad has Alzheimer's, and I owe everything to my dad. I owe my life to my dad, and although I want to be able to do more for him, and I want to be able to spend some time with him, I just cannot. It just doesn't happen. I just cannot make. I just in his presence. I cannot stand too long. Maybe that is because my mom has totally overpowered him and diminished him, and she's always there. But even if it's like that, I can actually take him out of the house and do things with him. But I just cannot bring myself to do that, and I feel very, very guilty and sad, and I don't know, I feel like I owe a lot to him, and I'm letting him down, and it's hurting me, and I don't know what to do.
Dear one, it hurts to see another one suffer, and indeed, what is really happening here is the karmic flow of interaction which has been pre-seen and pre-agreed. It may break your heart, and yet your mother and your father still have a lot of work to do. Therefore, by you intervening and trying to heal is not part of your path. You may love your mother and your father infinity, and you may love your father more than your mother. But in the great scheme of things, they still have to pull up their socks and do the work, for they still have karma they have to heal, dear one. You can still help to order some flowers or arrange a delivery to them to boost them. Your father knows that you love him. He's forgotten the pain, the past. Therefore, it is not your role to go and try and fix things. For really, he is in an altered state of consciousness, and whether you did it or not would not have much of a difference. And yet, what is important is more than your intentions, but it is about the energy and the prayers which you radiate and you send. For there are prayers which cannot be unbroken, and when you pray from the most purest place within your heart and spirit and soul, it indeed will be answered. You still must heal a lot in your relation to your mother, for the dynamics is not about the relationship of your mother and your father getting their stuff sorted out. It is also about your relationship with your mother, about trusting your mother. For when you trust her again, you will heal your inner child, dear one, and they will sort out their stuff. For often it is children that are the teachers, not vice versa. But you must be strong and forgive your mother and trust her. And you must understand that there is only love. There can be no wrong, but the communication in your experience is currently distorted. Therefore, the only way to put all your aces on the table and win the card game of consciousness of karmic agreement so you can fully heal the family is to put your 4 aces down. Therefore, you say, I forgive forgive you, Mum. I love you. I can trust you again. And you realize you were hurt, and you have been hurt, and you are hurting. But so was your mother. And indeed, you were the teacher, and she was the student. Sometimes we would love you to understand that your parents are often the children, and you are the teacher. Have compassion and mercy, dear one, for you can heal and win the show. In humility and compassion and respect. And by doing so, you've put all your aces on the table. And so do your mother and your father. And everything works out perfectly. But if you keep putting fire on fire, you will only get fire. Hence the resistance, hence the pain, hence the suffering. Therefore, you put your 4 cards of your best cards, the ace, the ace, the ace, the ace. And that's the future and the experience you will create, and that's also the energy you will emanate and shine and give to your parents. Therefore, you become the teacher. Wisdom, dear one. You are loved and you are supported, you are held more than you could ever know. But the inner child is what needs healing. And to acknowledge your spirit guides. And to remember, when you pray, you can pray to Allah, to God, to creation. But what is important? It's important you pray to the great spirit that resides in all beings. That is where the magic is found. That is the master key that will open every lock. You are loved, dear one. We invite the next question.
I'm having plans to move abroad, which feels like I will be happier and reach fulfillment. Is it just an illusion, or will I be able to make it happen?
Indeed, we foresee it to be, and we see a rather grand place. We see that a grand place of situation, and we see Turkey has served its place for you for now, but we are seeing a beautiful place, rather warm, very warm indeed. We are seeing the blueness, the desert. We are seeing, yes, quite pleasing to us. And we are also seeing success is on the horizon, for your future is golden, dear one. But we are reminding you the need to be a bit more confident in a compassionate way. For you know your future is golden, and do not have concerns, for it is one of brightness. We are seeing that your place will be rather grand, and you will be supported in the grand scheme of things. And your future is one of networking, of great business, in fact. And we want to rejoice with you. We do see the desert, and we do see the ocean, but it's rather grand. And we would like to celebrate with you, and we would like to see that travel will always be part of you, and it's something you have suppressed for too long. Be the travel. For at the speed of light, everything changes. And change is one of the only things that must occur. Everything changes, that is certain. Spirit's love changes everything. You are loved, dear one. We invite the next question.
I'm overweight for about 13 years, not before. I sometimes lose weight and gain back again. It difficults my life. It makes difficult my life, and it also sabotages my job. What should I know about this? What should I learn?
To understand the love, dear one. For you must be unconditionally loving to oneself. If you love everything, you love the food, but you forget that you are the food, then you forget the love. For all that you eat, all that you think, all that you are is you. All that you experience is you. If the food becomes you, if the emotions become you, then wouldn't you love what you eat, what you do, and be more empowered in it? Therefore, we would like to remind you that the message of the unconditional love to oneself and the message of healing the inner child. For it is important to play more with the inner child and allow the old patterns to break away and to be conscious of those patterns that are appearing and popping up out of the blue, instead of trying to push them down and cover them up. It is not something you have to do or go for. It is more that you just have to be aware and only infuse the love. For when there is love, everything is taken care of. And when you have fears and when you have judgments and horrible things you say or experience to others or yourself, you are forgetting the presence of love. You are forgetting the eternal presence of love. Remember that, dear one. We invite the next question.
Daha önce kendini yeteri kadar ifade edemeyen çocukların yeteneklerini ortaya çıkarmak gibi bir mesaj aldım. Ama bu beni çok heyecanlandırdı. Ama bunun için izlemem gereken yolun ne olduğunu bilmiyorum. Almam gereken bir eğitim, yapmam gereken bir işbirliği ya da izlemem gereken yolla ilgili bir mesaja ihtiyacım var. I took a message from you before that I should support the children, and I didn't really know what to do about it. Shall I need to take any education or any partnership or what to do? I really need a guidance about it.
It is important that you open up a place where home is where the heart is. It is important you accept those beings that are destined to come to you and also the support that is required. There is the need to accept it, to receive it, and to be the home where the heart is. We see the partnership with 5 females and 3 men. But the important thing is to remember that home is where the heart is. You will be doing great work. You have so many beings to help. There are so many children who are neglected, who go off stray. You have so much wisdom. There will be financial gifts, and there will be those that will come to you who are in need. And there shall also be those that are willing to invest unconditionally with the facilitation of the future home where the heart is. The future is one of love and safety for all those involved. to let go of the fears, for there will be beings who help and support you. The spiral, the coming back home. Therefore, you can be a star. Home is where the heart is. If you can give another a home, you can give the turtle its shell back. For it's hard being a turtle without a shell on your back. For you forget who you are. You may never need to use your shell, but you can know you're safe. And when a being emanates, home is where the heart is. They have an angelic energy and memory, which cannot be broken. Then they can heal the world. The center, the place will be a place of a re-care home. For when you re-care, you acknowledge that nothing is ever broken. And home is where the heart is. There is no need to cry anymore. For we see every single tear you shed. But we say, please do not run away this time. Build it. We will facilitate the rest. There will be support from many of your followers. Love is the way. We send healing to your needs, for your future is taken care of. We invite the next question, dear ones.
Bu hayattaki ilahi amacın nedir?
What is my
Divine purpose in life.
purpose in this life?
Your divine purpose is, despite the external situations, not to feel or to be rejected. You have been through many trials and challenges. And your heart has always been one of unconditional love. But you allow the criticisms of external situations to hurt you. At times, when you realize that that you are never being rejected, it is rather the situation of life. Indeed, you must communicate, but communicate from the heart, not the logic. This you know, yet you would like others to radiate it also. But every being has its own way of understanding. Some beings feel a pizza is too salty. Some beings feel it's too crispy. Some beings feel it's too soggy. There is no right or wrong, but the pizza must not feel hurt or rejected. For it's all about perception. And when your perspective is from a mountaintop, you can be strong in your center, just like a tree. When your roots are rooted strongly, your feet are on the ground, but your mind and your spirit is connected to the stars, to the great spirit essence, then if you are a tree, you can provide a home to many beings, animals, nature spirits. Nuts can even grow on your tree, be buried at your feet, and created in the ether. Your life purpose is about being the tree. Sometimes you wish to cry, but you grin and bear it and you're strong. But you forget that just like the message of the nuts, the treasure is about continuing the flow of love. Where is the home when there is no love? Yes, indeed, love gets polluted in your planet at times. Yet how beautiful to bring that love back to where home is, where the heart is. This is a powerful message for all beings and all thoughts. We invite one more question.
Thank you for honoring us today. I just want to hear if you have a message for me.
We would like to bring forth the message of kindness and persevering on your path. But one is, your life now is about documenting the experiences you are observing and experiencing around you. And it is all about success, dear one. We are seeing the need to keep on persevering, as sometimes you feel, maybe I need a break, maybe I should change the path. No. We are saying keep on with persevering, for you are nearly at the pinnacle of the mountaintop. Just because at times there is stronger weather or stronger things to experience, we are delighted to see the path which you are encountering and experiencing. We would like to remind you, like the diamond in the eye. the center of all that which is. Your treasure is by what you emanate and what you deliver and what you experience and all that you are. You do not have to do anything or be anything, for you are already being. Be what you are and see things clearly and deliver it, for when you are truly being all of that which you are being the key, the master key. When you are a master key, you will help others unlock their doors to the mystery of all that they are. Therefore, when you are being the master key, you can help many. This you are already doing, but you have a lot of work to do in this lifetime, dear one. It will not be draining, rather it will be illuminating. Health is wealth, dear one. You are loved. We would like to acknowledge each and every one of you here. For the host, and for the energies brought into this pyramid energy of templic space. For what you have been doing is forming a temple here with spirit. The heart and temple of spirit that is found within. We would like to invite you all to never forget and to always remember the great spirit within all things, all experiences. To be less personal and more loving. The great spirit of all that which is. In loving kindness, we greet you until we meet again. In love and blessings.